There's a hidden law of life most people never see until they're exhausted from chasing. The harder you try to grip love, peace, or success, the faster it escapes. It's not fate, it's not bad luck, it's energy. The truth is, your tight grasp creates resistance, blocking the very thing you're desperate for. Imagine trying to hold a river in your fists. The more you squeeze, the less remains. But here's the paradox. The moment you let go, life begins to flow toward you. Stay with me until the end. There's a bonus lesson that will forever change how you attract what's meant for you. Before we begin with number 1, subscribe to Deep Wisdom, your doorway to calm, clarity, and timeless Buddhist insight. 1. Clinging creates distance. Clinging creates distance. Have you ever noticed how the harder you hold on to something, the faster it seems to slip away? We chase love, success, recognition, even peace itself, as though clutching them with desperate hands could make them stay. Yet life, in its quiet wisdom, whispers a different truth. What you chase runs from you. What you allow flows to you. Imagine a butterfly in a garden. If you reach for it with force, it crumbles in your grasp. But when you sit still, open, patient, it lands softly upon your hand. Desire works the same way. When your heart is frantic, the world feels far. When your heart is calm, the world draws near. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. When we cling, we create distance, not because life withholds blessings, but because our grip blinds us to what is already present. You might believe that without control, everything will fall apart. But is that true? Or is it that in trying to control, you lose the natural flow of life? Think about your own journey. Perhaps there is a relationship you hold too tightly, fearing loss, or a goal you pursue so desperately that joy has disappeared from the process. This tension is not love nor ambition. It is fear disguised as desire. And fear pushes away the very things you long for. Letting go is not defeat. It is freedom. It is saying, I release my grip on what I cannot control. I trust life to bring what is meant for me. I do not need to chase to be worthy. These words are not weakness, they are strength. A river does not chase the ocean, yet it reaches it by flowing naturally. Close your eyes for a moment and picture your hand opening. A small bird rests in your palm. If you squeeze, it fights to escape. But when you open your hand, it flies into the sky, free and alive. Sometimes it circles back. Sometimes it does not. But either way, the sky remains full of life. This is the path of trust, knowing that what is meant for you will never require force to remain. So I ask you now, what in your life are you holding so tightly that it feels like it's slipping away? Is it a dream, a person, a version of yourself from the past? Reflect deeply, for the act of loosening your grip might be the very act that allows abundance to finally arrive. And here lies the secret. Everything you desire comes the moment you stop chasing. The moment you release the cage of fear, destiny itself perches gently upon your open hand. 2. The hidden magnetism of surrender. If surrender isn't weakness, then what secret strength hides inside it? The world often teaches us to fight, to resist, to hold control with clenched fists. Yet, Buddhist wisdom reveals a paradox. True strength lives not in resistance, but in surrender. In yielding, you become unshakable. Picture a river meeting a great rock. The river does not crash endlessly against it in fury. Instead, it bends, it flows, it adapts. Over time, that very softness carves valleys deeper than the stone itself. This is the magnetism of surrender. the quiet power that transforms obstacles into pathways without a single strike of force. When you surrender, you are not abandoning life. You are aligning with it. You are saying, I trust the current more than my resistance. And in that moment, the universe begins to carry you where your striving never could. The ego fears this stillness. It believes only in effort and control. But your soul knows otherwise. For when you let go, life finally has space to give. Let these words become your inner mantra. I am strongest when I am still. Surrender is not giving up, it is opening up. Peace is my truest power. Feel how each phrase softens the body and unknots the mind. Notice the weight that falls away when you no longer demand that the river flow your way, but instead allow yourself to flow with it. Close your eyes for a moment and see yourself lying back upon gentle water. At first, your body resists, stiff and anxious. But as you breathe, your muscles loosen. You float effortlessly, the current carrying you forward. This is not failure, this is trust. This is the way of nature, the way of spirit. Ask yourself, what would your life feel like if you stopped fighting and simply flowed? What burdens might dissolve if you no longer held them in battle? What miracles might appear once you surrendered your timetable and allowed life to unfold in its own rhythm? Surrender is the hidden magnetism that draws abundance, healing, and love into your life. The more you let go, the more you receive. Like the moon reflected perfectly upon still waters, clarity only comes when the surface is calm. Your deepest wisdom does not arrive when you fight. It emerges when you are quiet enough to listen. And so, surrender is not weakness. It is the courage to trust, the humility to yield, and the strength to open your hand to the unknown. In surrender, you become unshakable, for no storm can drown one who floats. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, I trust what comes to me. 3. Desire without chains. Can desire exist without destroying peace? This is a question that touches the heart of every seeker. Desire itself is not the enemy. Life blooms through the movement of intention. What wounds us is not the presence of desire, but the chains we wrap around it. Set your intention, then release it to the wind. Imagine a seed buried beneath the soil. It does not cry out for the sun, nor command the clouds to bring rain. It rests in stillness, trusting the rhythm of the seasons. And in its time, it grows. In the same way, our desires are seeds. If we bury them with fear, control, and impatience, they suffocate. But when we plant them with faith, they blossom without effort. Buddhist wisdom teaches not the denial of desire, but the release of clinging. To long for joy, love, or growth is natural. To strangle these longings with obsession, however, turns them into chains that drag the heart into suffering. Ask yourself gently, do your desires feel like prayers whispered to the universe, or like heavy shackles you must drag each day? Repeat softly to yourself, I plant desires, not demands. I walk with trust, not pressure. I hold goals gently, like petals on water. Feel how the weight begins to lift when goals are carried like offerings, not like burdens. Close your eyes and visualize this. You hold your dream as a glowing lantern. Its light warms your palms. Then, with steady hands, you place it upon a flowing river. The current receives it, carrying it forward into the vast night. You watch as it drifts, not with loss, but with serenity, knowing the river will guide it to its destination. This is the art of desiring without chains. Modern life often teaches the opposite. We are told to push harder, to grasp tighter, to never release control. But this path often brings exhaustion instead of fulfillment. True abundance enters when we set intentions clearly, then release them, trusting that the right time will come. Like the seed, like the lantern, like the river, life responds when we trust its timing. So, reflect. Are your desires gentle prayers or heavy chains? Do you walk with them as companions on your journey, or do you drag them like burdens that wear you down? The shift from demand to trust, from grasping to releasing, is the shift from suffering to peace. Desire without chains is possible. It is not the denial of dreams, but their liberation. And when your dreams are free, you are free. What you long for will find its way to you, not because you chained it, but because you loved it enough to let it go. 4. The weight of empty hands. What if emptiness was not a loss, but a gift? So often, we fear the hollow spaces in our lives, the quiet after a relationship ends, the stillness after a dream dissolves, the pause between one chapter and the next. Yet Buddhist wisdom teaches us this: hands full cannot receive. Imagine your hands clutching tightly to stones. They are heavy, yet you cling to them out of habit. Then someone offers you a jewel. Can you take it? Not until you let the stones fall. Emptiness is not a punishment. It is the clearing away of what no longer serves you so that something new can be placed gently in your palms. Think of a cup already filled with muddy water. No matter how much fresh water you pour, the cup cannot be clear until it is emptied first. The same is true for the heart. To cling to what is stale, broken, or heavy leaves no room for the blessings that are waiting just beyond your grasp. Whisper to yourself these words: I make space for what is coming. Emptiness is preparation, not punishment. I am open to new blessings. Feel their truth soften your resistance. You are not being deprived, you are being prepared. The universe is not abandoning you in the silence, it is reshaping you to receive what could not enter before. Close your eyes and visualize this. You stand inside a crowded room full of old objects, dust, and clutter. Slowly, you begin to clear it. With every item removed, the room grows lighter, brighter, more open. And then, through an open window, a fresh breeze enters, filling the space with new life. This is the hidden power of emptiness. It allows life to breathe through you once again. Modern life tells us to always hold more possessions, more goals, more achievements. But fullness without meaning is still empty. True richness is found not in the clutter we hold, but in the openness that welcomes something greater. Emptiness is the soil in which new seeds take root. So reflect deeply. What could enter your life if you finally made space? What blessings are hovering at your door, waiting for you to release what you no longer need? Sometimes we ask why abundance has not arrived, while our hands are still gripping what was never meant to stay. The weight of empty hands is not heaviness, but readiness. For only hands that are open and free can receive the gifts of the universe. Letting go does not leave you with nothing. It makes space for everything. 5. The alchemy of letting go. How does release transform suffering into serenity? We spend so much of our lives gripping pain, replaying losses, and holding tightly to regrets, as though carrying them honors their meaning. Yet, Buddhist wisdom reveals a deeper truth. The fire you feed consumes you. The fire you release warms you. Imagine grief as a bird locked in a cage. You believe that by holding it, you keep it close, you give it weight. But the truth is, the cage does not preserve, it imprisons. And the bird you set free is not only sorrow, it is your own spirit. Releasing grief is not forgetting nor dishonoring. It is opening the door so both you and the bird may breathe again. The alchemy of letting go is this: pain does not vanish, it transforms. What once felt like an unbearable chain can, when released, become the very lesson that carries you into peace. A broken relationship can teach the meaning of love. A failure can awaken the strength of resilience. In this way, every ending hides a beginning, every tear hides a seed. Repeat these affirmations softly to yourself. I turn my pain into peace through release. Every ending hides a beginning. Freedom is born in letting go. Feel how the body relaxes as the words sink into your heart. You are not abandoning your past, you are transforming it. Close your eyes and visualize this. There is a knot tied tightly in your chest. Each memory, each fear, each regret has pulled at it for years. But now, with patience, you begin to loosen it. The knot unravels, and suddenly your breath flows freely again. The tightness dissolves, replaced with spaciousness. This is the quiet miracle of release. So often, we confuse holding on with strength. But true strength is the courage to let go. When you unclench your hands, when you release your grip, you discover that the burden was never your identity. It was only a weight you carried. And when the weight falls, you do not lose yourself. You return to yourself. Reflect for a moment. What burden would you feel lighter without? Perhaps it is the memory of a mistake, the expectation of others, or the fear of being alone. What would your life feel like if you loosened that knot, opened that cage, and allowed freedom to take flight? The alchemy of letting go is the sacred transformation of suffering into serenity. Release does not erase the past, it redeems it. It does not make you weaker, it makes you whole. And in that wholeness, you find the secret the Buddha whispered. Freedom is not found by adding more, but by releasing what was never yours to hold. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I trust what comes to me." 6. Peace as the new prosperity. Why does calmness invite abundance more than struggle? We are taught from a young age that only through relentless effort, constant striving, and unending struggle will we arrive at success. But Buddhist wisdom reveals another secret. Calm waters reflect the heavens. Picture a lake in the stillness of dawn. Its surface is smooth, unbroken, and in that stillness, the entire sky is mirrored. The mountains, the stars, the rising sun. Now imagine the same lake in a storm, waves thrashing, waters restless. What do you see then? Nothing but distortion. This is the mind when restless and desperate. No matter how much arrives, it cannot reflect truth. It cannot receive abundance. But when the mind is calm, everything becomes clear. Peace is not the absence of ambition. It is the soil in which true prosperity grows. Struggle may gain you something, but it often costs your spirit in return. Calmness, however, carries you into alignment with life itself, where blessings come not through strain, but through harmony. When you stop wrestling with the current, you discover the river has always been carrying you exactly where you need to be. Let these words become your compass. My peace is my greatest wealth. Abundance flows where tension ends. Calmness draws everything I need. Feel how your heart softens when you allow stillness to be your strength. No storm outside can disturb a lake that rests deep within. Close your eyes and sit in silence. See yourself as a vast, still lake. The sky above pours its light into you, and every star, every cloud, every ray of sun is reflected perfectly upon your surface. You are not empty, you are full of light. The calmer you remain, the more clearly life shines upon you. Now ask yourself, does your mind mirror chaos, or can it reflect peace? Do you meet life with agitation, clouding every blessing with fear and worry? Or do you meet it with calmness that draws people, opportunities, and love toward you like a gentle magnet? Peace is the new prosperity because it cannot be taken from you. Money may come and go, achievements may fade, relationships may shift, but peace is eternal wealth. It nourishes your body, sharpens your mind, and opens your heart. From peace flows clarity, creativity, and connection. From peace comes abundance that no struggle could ever match. The world may tell you to fight, to chase, to never rest. But the Buddha's wisdom whispers another way. Be still, and you shall receive. For when the waters of your mind are calm, they become a mirror for the universe, and in that mirror, every blessing finds its way home. 7. Freedom from ownership. What if nothing you cling to was ever truly yours? This question unsettles the mind, for we are taught to measure our worth by what we possess, our belongings, our titles, even our relationships. Yet the Buddha reminds us of a liberating truth. To own nothing is to be free of loss. Picture yourself walking barefoot along the shore. With each step, you leave an imprint upon the sand. For a brief moment, the footprint feels solid, like it belongs to you. But then the tide rolls in, and the waves erase it completely. Does that mean your walk was meaningless? No. The beauty was never in holding the imprint, but in the experience of walking, of feeling the sand and sea beneath your feet. Life, too, is like this, fleeting yet infinitely beautiful when not bound by ownership. We suffer not because things leave, but because we believed they were ours to keep. A home, a possession, even a loved one. These are not property. They are experiences flowing through us. To cling is to ache. To release is to love freely. And in that release, we find freedom from the endless fear of loss. Affirm these truths softly within your heart. I do not possess, I experience. Nothing belongs to me, yet all flows through me. My worth is not in what I own. With these words, the chains of ownership begin to loosen. Your soul breathes again. Now, close your eyes and imagine holding a handful of sand. At first, you try to squeeze tightly, but the grains slip through your fingers faster. Then, you loosen your hand, letting the sand flow gently away. This time, you do not mourn the loss. You smile at its beauty, at its texture, at its golden shimmer in the light. The sand was never yours to keep, but it was yours to experience. This is the art of living without ownership. Reflect deeply. What would life feel like if you stopped trying to own it? How much lighter would your steps become if you loved without clinging, worked without obsession, lived without the constant need to hold? The truth is, you cannot own even your own body. It too will one day return to the earth. But this is not sorrow. It is liberation. Freedom from ownership is not emptiness. It is fullness. When you no longer demand that people, places, or things remain yours, you are finally free to experience them as they truly are, gifts of the present moment. Like clouds drifting across the sky, they come and go, but their beauty is complete even in passing. To live this way is to taste the deepest freedom, for when nothing belongs to you, everything is allowed to be, and in that spaciousness, life itself flows through you, endlessly abundant, endlessly free. 8. The quiet arrival of miracles. Why do blessings often appear when we least expect them? We strive, we plan, we chase, and still the greatest gifts of life seem to arrive quietly, in the spaces where we are not looking. Buddhist wisdom reminds us, life blooms when watched less closely. Think of a flower in a garden. You do not hear its petals opening, you do not watch each moment of its growth, and yet, day by day, it unfolds in perfect silence until suddenly the garden is transformed by its beauty. Life works in the same way. Miracles rarely arrive with noise or announcement. They bloom quietly when we have finally softened enough to receive them. When we cling, we strangle growth. When we demand, we blind ourselves to what is already happening. But when we let go, when we surrender into patience, life begins to reveal its secret timing. Just as dawn does not rush, yet always comes, your blessings arrive in their season, neither late nor early. Let these affirmations guide you. I let life surprise me with grace. Miracles grow in patience. What is meant for me cannot miss me. Feel their truth seep into your heart. You do not need to chase every outcome. What is yours by destiny cannot be lost to another. It will arrive as surely as a flower turns to the sun. Close your eyes and picture this. Before you rests a flower bud. At first, it is closed tightly and you wish to pry it open. But you wait. Slowly, under the warmth of the sun, it begins to unfold. Not by force, not by your command, but by nature's rhythm. This is how blessings arrive, gently, silently, perfectly timed. Now reflect. Have your greatest blessings ever arrived unannounced? Perhaps a friendship that came when you weren't searching, an opportunity that appeared when you least expected, or a moment of joy that slipped into an ordinary day. These are the miracles of life's quiet generosity. The mind believes that control creates results, but the soul knows otherwise. Control creates tension, patience creates space, and in that space, the miracles that seemed so far away begin to bloom right before your eyes. So trust the silence. Trust the timing. Do not mistake the quiet for emptiness. Often it is the sacred pause before your life blossoms in ways you could never have planned. The petals of your destiny are already unfolding. Miracles do not rush, yet they never fail to come. And when you stop demanding and start allowing, you will find yourself standing in the garden of your own becoming, surrounded by blessings you did not even know how to ask for. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I trust what comes to me." 9. Silence speaks louder than struggle. Could stillness achieve what striving never can? The mind often believes that noise, movement, and endless effort are the only paths to progress. Yet Buddhist wisdom offers a softer, deeper truth. In silence, answers ripen. Consider the moon. It does not roar, it does not demand, it does not push, and yet its silent presence moves entire oceans. Waves rise and fall under its watchful glow. This is the hidden power of stillness, the ability to shape life without struggle, to influence without force. We mistake silence for weakness, when in reality, silence is strength refined. The quiet mind hears what the noisy mind cannot. In stillness, clarity emerges like stars appearing in the night sky. In quiet, wisdom grows roots that no storm can shake. And in your silence, life begins to move toward you, drawn by your calm like the tides to the moon. Whisper these truths into your heart. In silence, I grow stronger. My stillness shapes the world around me. Quiet is my teacher. Let each affirmation sink into your being like ripples spreading across water. Feel how strength does not come from pushing harder, but from resting deeper into presence. Now, close your eyes and imagine this. You sit beneath a full moon, its silver light bathing your skin. Before you, the ocean breathes, waves rising and falling in perfect rhythm. You feel the moon's pull not only upon the sea, but upon the tides within your own heart. Without sound, without effort, a great power moves through you. This is the strength of silence. Reflect deeply. What could silence bring that noise never has? Perhaps peace where there was once confusion. Perhaps answers where there was once endless questioning. Perhaps healing where there was once only resistance. Noise often drowns the truth, but silence allows it to surface with grace. In a world addicted to speed and constant striving, silence is a radical act of trust. It says, I do not need to shout to be heard. I do not need to force to achieve. I allow stillness to guide me. And when you choose silence, you are no longer carried by chaos. You become the still point around which life orbits. So remember this, your silence is not empty. It is full of wisdom, full of presence, full of unseen strength. Just as the moon moves oceans without a single sound, so too can your stillness draw abundance, clarity, and peace into your life. The ultimate secret is this: everything you desire comes when you let go, not through struggle, but through silence. For in silence, answers ripen. In silence, miracles arrive. And in silence, you discover that you have always been enough. 10. The paradox of having by not holding. How can we have without possessing? We are taught that holding tightly, controlling, and claiming are the paths to security. Yet Buddhist insight reveals a profound paradox. To grasp is to lose, to open is to keep. True abundance does not come from possession. It comes from presence, from being fully alive to what is here without demanding it be yours. Imagine clouds drifting lazily across a summer sky. No one owns them, no one commands them, yet every observer can feel the shade they offer, marvel at their shapes, and rest in their beauty. Their gifts are given freely, and in accepting them without grasping, you are enriched far beyond what ownership could provide. Life, too, offers its blessings in this way, accessible to those who learn to let go. Holding on creates tension. We clutch relationships, possessions, outcomes, and even our own expectations as if their permanence defined our worth. But the tighter the grip, the more life slips through our fingers. To open the hand is not to lose, but to allow continuity. To release is not emptiness, but fullness. Affirm these truths quietly. I enjoy without needing to own. I live in abundance by releasing. Nothing is mine, yet everything is with me. Let each phrase settle into your consciousness. Feel how the insistence to possess softens, replaced by a calm enjoyment of life's flowing gifts. You are no longer grasping at shadows. You are living in the light of what is present. Close your eyes and visualize sitting beneath drifting clouds. You watch them come and go, appreciating their patterns, the cooling shade, the soft movement, without any desire to claim them. Their passing does not diminish your joy, it enhances it. In this moment, you are fully present, fully receptive, fully alive. This is the art of having without holding. Reflect deeply. Can you allow beauty to pass without claiming it? How much lighter would your heart feel if you welcomed life's gifts without demanding they stay, without needing them to validate your worth? How much more abundant would your experience be if you simply received what life offers, moment by moment, without grasping? The paradox of having by not holding is the doorway to true freedom. When you release, you are not giving up. You are creating a space where life can flow endlessly through you. You realize that what is truly yours is not the objects or outcomes themselves, but the capacity to experience, to feel, to be present. To live this way is to align with the eternal rhythm of the universe. Just as the clouds float without ownership, so can you move through life, enjoying all that is given, untouched by the anxiety of possession. In this space, abundance is effortless, peace is natural, and everything you desire can arrive, not because you seized it, but because you opened yourself to receive. 11. When wanting becomes receiving. How does the heart shift from hunger to fulfillment? We often believe that joy and abundance lie somewhere beyond our reach, that we must chase, strive, and collect to feel complete. Yet Buddhist wisdom reminds us of a quieter truth. The one who stops seeking finds. True satisfaction does not arrive through endless pursuit. It arises when the mind settles, when the heart opens, and when the need to grasp dissolves. Imagine thirst. You run to rivers, lakes, even the sea, searching for relief, yet each effort feels fleeting. Then you discover a spring within yourself, a well that never dries, that nourishes endlessly without demand or struggle. This inner source is the heart of fulfillment. You do not need to chase rivers, the water has always been inside. When wanting transforms into receiving, the shift is subtle yet profound. Desire is not extinguished, it is transmuted. The energy of yearning becomes the awareness of abundance. Hunger softens into presence. The hand that once reached outward now rests open, welcoming what is already here. Whisper these affirmations softly to yourself. I am not incomplete, I am whole. My joy is not in reaching, but in being. Fulfillment is already within me. Feel the weight of striving release. Allow the pulse of your own inner spring to refresh every corner of your being. You are not empty. You are already enough. Close your eyes and picture this. Deep within your chest, a clear spring bubbles endlessly. Each breath draws its water into every part of your body, filling you with life, calm, and contentment. No effort is needed. No chasing is required. The source was there all along, waiting for you to stop, to listen, to drink. This is the heart's secret. Fulfillment is not outside. It has always been within. Reflect gently. Do you seek outside what already lives within? How many moments of anxiety, struggle, or longing could dissolve if you remembered that the spring of abundance, the well of peace, and the river of joy already flow inside you? Every external desire becomes an echo of an internal truth. And the moment you realize this, the world itself begins to align with your inner richness. The alchemy of life is simple, yet often overlooked. Wanting is not the enemy. Clinging is. When you release the desperation to possess, to chase, to demand, the universe responds with a quiet generosity. What you were seeking was never truly absent. It was waiting for your heart to stop running, for your mind to be still, and for your hands to open. In this stillness, you shift from longing to receiving, from lack to abundance, from striving to simply being. And as you drink from the spring within, every desire finds its place, every need is met, and everything you sought outside begins to flow naturally into your life. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I trust what comes to me." Bonus lesson. The secret of arriving without moving. What if what you long for has always been waiting in the stillness? We spend our lives running toward goals, toward dreams, toward an imagined future, believing that motion alone will bring fulfillment. Yet Buddhist insight reminds us of a quieter truth. Now is the only arrival. What we seek does not need to be pursued. It reveals itself when we stop, when we breathe, and when we simply stand still. Consider the horizon. No matter how fast you run, it never moves closer. Yet the moment you pause, the sky unfolds, the light shifts, and suddenly the horizon appears to bend toward you, embracing you in its vastness. Life works in the same way. The more you chase, the more elusive your desires become. The more you surrender into stillness, the more clearly they arrive. Stillness is not inertia. It is awareness. It is presence. It is the understanding that the universe moves through you, not against you. Every longing, every wish, every quiet hope has already been planted in the fertile soil of the present moment. You do not need to force, push, or demand. It is already here, waiting for you to notice. Affirm these truths gently. Everything I need is already here. I stop chasing and start arriving. The present moment is enough. Feel the tension in your body soften. Sense the constant pull of striving ease into a gentle rhythm of acceptance. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are precisely where you are meant to be. Close your eyes and visualize this. You stand on a vast plain, the horizon stretching endlessly before you. You stop, you breathe, you let your gaze settle. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the horizon seems to lean closer, bending toward you as if to meet your quiet presence. The space between you and your desires collapses, not because you ran faster, but because you ceased running. This is the paradox of life, arriving without moving. Reflect. What if you have already arrived where you've been trying to go? How much energy, how much anxiety, how much striving could dissolve if you simply allowed yourself to stand still, to notice, and to trust that life is unfolding perfectly in its own rhythm. The longing you carry may already be fulfilled in ways subtle, unseen, and profound. This is the ultimate secret. Motion is not required for arrival. Desire is not blocked by stillness. The world does not withhold its gifts. They are present, already moving toward you, waiting for your mind to quiet and your hands to open. To live in this awareness is to experience life as a continuous unfolding of grace. To stop chasing is to begin receiving. To rest in the present is to understand that every step you thought you needed to take was already part of the journey completed by the universe itself. In stillness, you find the arrival you have been seeking. In quiet, abundance flows to you. And in this simple truth, you discover that everything you desire has always been waiting, not out there, but within the calm, open space of this very moment. Quick summary of principles. Clinging creates distance. The more we cling to people, goals, or outcomes, the more resistance we create. Clinging builds fear of loss, which pushes what we want further away. True connection comes when we release attachment and trust life's flow. The hidden magnetism of surrender. Surrender is not weakness, but a hidden strength. When we stop forcing, life begins to align naturally with us. In letting go, we attract rather than chase. Desire without chains. Buddhism teaches the difference between healthy intention and destructive craving. Goals can inspire us, but attaching our worth to them creates suffering. Hold desires lightly without making them a prison. The weight of empty hands. We cannot receive new blessings while our hands are full of old attachments. Emptiness creates space for growth, renewal, and miracles. Letting go is preparation, not loss. The alchemy of letting go. Release transforms pain into peace. What feels like an ending is often the start of something greater. By letting go of what harms us, we discover our hidden freedom. Peace as the new prosperity. Inner calm is more powerful than constant struggle. When we cultivate peace, abundance flows naturally into our lives. True prosperity begins with a quiet mind. Freedom from ownership. Nothing in life truly belongs to us. Not people, not things, not even time. When we stop clinging to ownership, we stop fearing loss. Freedom begins where possession ends. The quiet arrival of miracles. Blessings often come when we stop demanding and allow life to unfold. Miracles bloom in stillness, patience, and trust. Life gives most generously to those who wait openly. Silence speaks louder than struggle. Stillness has a power that striving cannot reach. Silence opens the space for answers, wisdom, and opportunities to appear. A quiet mind shapes reality more deeply than restless effort. The paradox of having by not holding. We don't need to own to experience. Joy and abundance come when we allow life's beauty to flow through us without clinging to it. By not holding, we actually have more. When wanting becomes receiving, fulfillment is not found in endless searching, but in realizing we are already whole. When the hunger to become dissolves, true receiving begins. Wholeness attracts more than desperation ever could. The secret of arriving without moving. The ultimate realization. What we seek has always been here in the present moment. By stopping the chase, we discover we have already arrived. The now is the destination. So remember this: what you desire does not come through desperate grasping, but through quiet release. When you unclench your hands, life finally has space to place its blessings within them. The truth of Buddhism is simple yet radical. What you let go of cannot hurt you, but what you cling to becomes your suffering. As Zen wisdom reminds us, you only lose what you cling to. The river of life was never meant to be controlled. It was meant to be flowed with. When you trust, when you surrender, when you stop resisting, peace becomes your wealth, love arrives without begging, and success follows like a shadow. Let this be your practice, not to give up desire, but to hold it with gentleness, free from fear. Let go of attachment and watch how life surprises you with more than you ever imagined. Your only task is to open your hands, open your heart, and allow. What in your life do you need to release so that what is truly yours may finally arrive? If this teaching touched you, please like and share this video, write your reflections in the comments below, and subscribe to Deep Wisdom for more inspiring Buddhist insights on living a peaceful life.